Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming into another video. Well, I'm legitimately walking down the street. That's something you don't see me doing very often. But I just came from the library, took care of some business that I had to do in regards to that paperwork that you guys know was, as I said with my court situation, the eviction notice hit me in the head like a brick. And it was a lot of ambiguity in regards to what it is that I needed to do. But none at this moment. I took care of it. I went to the library. Well, we'll see if it gets taken care of, but I did what I could. Filled out, all the paperwork necessary because I couldn't print it at my house because I ain't got no Wi-Fi. So it allowed for another outing. This is the second day this week where I've been able to actually leave the house, gentlemen and ladies. And believe you me, that don't happen too often. So I'm having a blast, even though I'm stressed out my backside because of what's going on. But it is beautiful out here in this neighborhood, man. Inglewood, Lenox area. I tell you, they tell us these areas aren't safe and all of that, but these people treated me so good today, walking down the street. Everybody saying hi and being nice. I'm telling you, man. I don't know what it is, but the experience I get when I leave the house is never what it is in my head, man. It never is. And I psych myself out so bad with all the nonsense and negativity that my mind is used to doing. And when I get out with the people and I talk to the people, you have no idea how comfortable I end up being. Talking to the ladies at the library, getting help, talking to the people, the crosswalk people. It has been one of the best things for me, man. I tell you the truth. I just wish my mental health would get out of the way so I can enjoy my life, because there's some beautiful things out here to see and I've been missing them. But to be honest with you, I don't think I filled my paperwork out correctly. That's not where my smarts lie. You guys know where my smarts actually is, and it's in communicating. It's not necessarily in paperwork. So it is what it is. I don't assume that what I've done was bad in regards to responding. I did what the paperwork told me to do, and I'd imagine most of the people in my situation are probably not all that bright in this area anyway, or we wouldn't be in this situation. So I hope they're used to seeing certain errors and mistakes that come with just people doing the best they can but not really knowing a whole lot or having a whole lot. And I'm just fortunate that my body and my mind allowed me to take the steps necessary to give myself a fighting chance, because I didn't anticipate thinking that I would, especially as it pertains to leaving the house and going to the library and printing things out and typing up stuff and meeting hour deadlines. I just faced a real anxious space, and it went well. I don't know that I filled out the paperwork correctly, but I do believe that I gave myself the best shot at feeling like I did something to keep myself from going through what is about to probably happen to me, which is the sheriff's coming through and snatching my black behind out of my apartment, sending me to the curb. But, my mind has done so much more than I thought it would do in these circumstances. I've answered the bell to the best of my ability, and now I'm ready for whatever the consequences are at this point. But at the same time, I do believe that I'm deserving of something good, because I've been in the right spirit. I've been in my right mind. I've been putting out the right energy. I've been praying. And I've been needing the Lord to get me out of that comfort zone, even if it's going to rip me out of it. It's the only way that I was going to see a day like today, where I get to walk down the street and just breathe. It's going to be all right. I believe that. And I think that in the matter of a moment like this, I can tell you the worst circumstances brought about the best thing for me. That's just basically what I want to tell you. It was a hard couple of days, and it's probably going to be another couple of days, because I got to go to the courthouse tomorrow and submit the paperwork and then proceed to see what the judgment's going to be on myself. But I'll be there. That's the point. I got my friend who's going to help me get down there and take the paperwork that I've printed up, the words that I wrote, all true. And I'll tell anybody, I didn't mean for this to happen, of course, nor do I feel myself to be incompetent to allow this to happen again. I just allow my ego to get in the way of what would otherwise cover my backside if things were to go left. I believed in right and wrong in a way that would save my backside with prayers and just doing things the way I wanted to do them. But halfway through doing it that way, I realized that it didn't work doing things that way. Doing things without God, doing things on my own reconnaissance, or trying to do things for myself or what have you, it didn't work. And now I'm walking down the street living the consequences of those actions. Feeling inspired that I've built something while I was sitting and doing things incorrectly. I was making things happen for myself, turning myself into somebody I could be proud of. But at the same time, I also learned a very difficult lesson, and that is, if you're going to fight, you had better make sure that you have everything you need. Because I wanted to fight, but I didn't have my mind right or my money right. I wanted to defeat an evil that's been on this earth for years, and I wanted to do it with the very little that I had. And that's why I stand here before you guys in AMC 8, struggling because of the reality of these circumstances that come with being in AMC 8. Want to stand for something, but you know what I mean? We just live in a world where corruption is okay. They allow people to live in poverty every day, and I'm not with it. I'll be in poverty, but I won't be without a voice, without a fight, without some influence. I will use what I have, which is my voice and my talent, to help people in whatever way I can. My heart and my body was in that house, but my soul and my spirit was with you. And every time I open my mouth in therapy sessions, I'm thinking about how I can help your children see another day without their minds being warped to nonsense. See a day where people aren't just doing anything and everything for money. They find a way to have resources without having to kill themselves out here. A way for people to get away from the mind control nonsense that ultimately makes them enjoy cultures that want to hurt themselves, hurt others. I want to put an end to that. I want to help anyway. That's what I believe in, man, and I'm trying to get past my own mental health so I can be of service to others, but I just have yet to learn how to do that. But I believe in myself now. I love myself now. I love others better now. I put out better energy. I know where all the good things come from in my life. I'm not worried anymore, man. I'm not worried. I just got to deal with the fact that I made some mistakes when I didn't know any better. And I think that's an honorable thing, given the fact the Lord has allowed me to see this day, regardless. So I come back home safely, thankful, came out the house, felt good, put my best foot forward. All of my weaknesses and intellect were on display, and I don't know if I'll be able to keep what I have here. But what I can tell you is, proud of myself. I am, because I addressed it. To the best of my ability, I addressed what I had to address. And maybe it works out. Maybe I have a new address. The bottom line is, BDF 44 was birthed right here. This apartment, with his mind set on trying to overcome his own nonsense. I don't know if I've succeeded in that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have not. But one thing I know I have succeeded in is giving myself a chance today. I gave myself a chance where my mind didn't think I could do it. My heart didn't think I could do it. My temperament was used to not. And I gave myself a chance. I was hungry. I ain't ate since this morning. I was sad, sick, down, haven't felt good, all this. But at the same time, I'm just in a space of peace because I know the Lord has got me. I know I put out the right stuff and energy. I know I did. Maybe not when I started this process, as I was telling you guys, but I put out the right energy. I did. In this camera, in this prayers, every day in my shower. I deserve to land on my feet, I think. But even more so, I deserve to overcome my mental health issues, and my anxiety concerns, and my frustrations. I deserve that. And so I'm proud, of all of you guys who are facing the same type of thing, trying your best to keep your roof over your head, undo the nonsense of your past, undo the nonsense of your childhood, maybe whatever it was that kept you from being your best. I too have fallen short, even though I come into this camera every day talking about, I know what you need to do to win. I know what everybody needs to do to win, but I too fall short in simply choosing the right decision, even when I know better sometimes. And the one thing that's helped me understand that it's okay to admit that, and then you can build out of those bad cycles, is moments like this. Moments like this, where my uncle told me to just do it. I was telling him about my head. I was telling him about how anxious I was and how I didn't want. And he said, well, you got to go down there now. And I wasn't about to let him down. I wasn't about to tell him I just can't. because I just have to. And when you have to do something, you lean on yourself and your DNA, you get it done. And that's what I did, man. This morning, I just leaned on the Holy Spirit. I said, God, can you help me? Even last night, when I was trying to apply for these different things that led to me understanding what needed to be done today, had I not just said, God, help me, I wouldn't have had the steps it took to get to where I'm at today. And look, I'll tell you all the truth, man. I don't know if the Lord has it in his mindset to allow me to stay in my comfort zone anymore after doing things pitifully. I don't know that. I know that the spirit in me and the love in me is open to new things, things I've never experienced before. Living in places I've never been before, maybe living with people if I have to. I don't want to go back to work, but if I know I have to, I'll probably have to just muster it somehow. I'm prayerful that the Lord will not keep me from what it is that I don't want to do, but give me better wants so I can be better for myself and have good things that I can keep and hold and all of that, rather than constantly waiting for things to fall apart as I have been. I can't tell you how much stronger I feel today than I did at any point in time throughout the past 8 months. And so I want to say thank you to God for allowing me to feel these struggles and have these emotional imbalances and have all this ripped out from under me, this comfort zone it feels like it's about to be ripped from me, but it feels like it's not about me letting anything happen without a fight. I fought myself in this house when I was struggling with my mindset. I fought myself when I was dealing with trying to quit the job when I knew I should, but I didn't. I needed to, but I just didn't feel like it was the right thing for me at the time, and the Lord was telling me to do it. And I retreated back into this house, and I made the changes necessary that I and he knew I needed to make. Overcame what needed to be overcome in order for me to move forward. I did it. And I don't think I made a single mistake in regards to my spirit since, but I just think he wanted me to go through this, man. I just think he wanted me to go through this. I think he wanted my strength that I had built and the prayers that I had built to put me in a space like this, and all of the things that I've been through with AMC, anticipating that it's going to the moon and it never doing it every single day. Even though it did something negative to my mindset, it also did something positive to my resolve, because now in the space of this, where I'm on the verge of being homeless, everything's about to go left, and I'm in this messed up mindset where I ain't left the house in a year. I was able to go out, say yes to a friend earlier in the week when I first got that paperwork. Instead of addressing my problem, I procrastinated on a problem that needed my attention. I could have did all this then, but I needed to help my friend. I needed to help him more than I need to help myself, because that's what all of this is about. I retreated into this place because I was damaged and I couldn't help others. If being in this place for a year ain't gonna send me out to help others, then I failed the last year. All the art, all the playlists, everything was about making me better. It's about building something that allowed me to be proud of myself. And if I couldn't help my buddy when he needed me to help him move, what the hell was I doing here? Trying to protect myself from what? Trying to shelter myself from what? Trying to be what? If not somebody who's not around enough for people who need him. I was protecting myself, but I wasn't protecting myself because I was putting myself in a position to have a further worse reputation with the people that matter to me the most. And I'm getting older. I'm seeing somebody in the mirror that I appreciate, but I'm not showing them to nobody. It's getting to a point where it just doesn't make any sense to be in this space anymore. What I needed here is, I got it. That's the point. The Lord sent me to this place when I needed it most, when I had nothing at all going for me and everything in my heart was broken. This is when he gave me this place. I had a job, I kept it. And then it went left. And the process started. I went through a horrible time and I got through that. Went back to work. Struggled with that. Stayed at it for 2 years. Had to let it go. Got another job. Stayed with that. Had to let it go because none of these places are for me, man. This is for me. That is not. But it seems like I have to go back to that in order to make it. Seems like I'm going to have to go back to that in order to make it, make a living. And so what I'm hopeful to do is to absorb that and be cool with it. That is the challenge for me. That's what's been in the way. The fact that necessity hadn't forced me to do anything, which it always does, unfortunately. But also that. I tell you, man, I just needed a therapy session because I feel so strongly about what I've been doing. I want so bad for the Lord to send this thing to the moon so I don't have to struggle with what it is I'm struggling with. I want more than anything to be able to walk out of this place with the intention that I had when I started, which was a triumphant ape with plenty of money to pay his bills and plenty enough money to help the people who's helped him along the way. Just wasn't meant to be. Corruption is in place, and it's keeping things up. It's keeping things in place. The corruption itself are beams that people are afraid to move because Jenga. That's what's happening here. That's why I'm collateral damage to it at all. Like the rest of us, apes. They don't care anything about what it is going to do in regards to us because they feel like what we're doing is going to cause more chaos than the corruption itself. Tearing it all down and forcing everybody to see all these evil Johnsons, so to speak, is going to be even more so. More so. Important. So that's where my life is going by. I let my 30s disappear. I gave half of my 30s to my mother's passing, dedicating all I could to heal from that, and the other half of my 30s to AMC. And I don't know that I have any regrets because I built something in this space that it otherwise wouldn't be. But I don't even know if easier is actually for me. You know what I mean? When you start thinking about I wish things were easier, I don't know that it is. When you have the mind that I have and the weaknesses in my head that I do, easy probably ain't best for me. Easy is probably what made me as weak as I found myself being. And so walking out the house, going to the library, feeling my fingertips shaking as I'm trying to establish what needs to be typed, because the anxiety was overwhelming in that library. It was overwhelming. And it had nothing to do with the environment. It was just what I was doing. You had an hour to complete stuff, and I don't even have a PC at the house, so I ain't used to typing anymore. So somehow I was able to complete the most basic stuff on that paperwork, the best of my understanding, without any counsel. I filled out everything I could, followed everything I could, made mistakes, and printed them out. Mistakes were made. Like I said, I don't think I did all that great, but my argument is I'm not well. My argument is that I'm not well. And so I don't know, man. I don't like my chances. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I like my chances. I'm not looking forward to what could be possible, but at least I'm going to respond. They're gonna know that this person gonna respond. I'm not gonna just let the courts judge on my behalf without at least giving up something, without at least walking down the street to the library and typing up the best I could. But I feel good, man. In the midst of my struggles, my heart is heavy because I failed. Honestly, I failed. As a man and as a person, I think. But I was trying to be an ape, man, with a head like this. I was trying, bro. I was really trying, man. And, the hope of making a lot of money probably lured me into a space where I was going all in for the wrong reasons instead of paying people I should have paid. That's the sin. That's why I deserve this. Because I knew that all I had to do was shoot them $200 every month, and I could have kept this from happening. But that greed, that's what got my ass. That greed. I can save more shares and do more good. You ain't doing more good. You ain't doing more good. You're just giving yourself more opportunities to be rich. You're giving yourself more opportunities to be established for the rest of your life. And that's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. I'm not mad at myself for doing it. But if you're going to do it that way, you better be ready for this. If you're going to go all in, everybody told me not to go all in, by the way. Everybody did. There's not a soul that told me this was a good idea. Not even the people who were involved in the play like me advised any of us to do this. I just did not want to work anymore. And you couple the laziness of my natural mindset and the anxiety that I have just from being every day to day, and the fact that I'm like this, and at the time didn't think I could ever change. I needed enough money to assure that I could live like that for the rest of my life. And so that was part of why I needed so many shares, because I'm like, if this thing doesn't even go to 5,000, I still don't want to work no more. And if I have to work some more, then it was negative thoughts. Kill myself was the solution. But now that I'm here, at the time when I'm supposed to be killing myself, I have no desire to die, man. That's the problem. I wish I would have told myself that. Like, yo, bro, when you get to that point, you ain't going to jump off no roof. You ain't going to eat no bullet or none of that. You're going to want to keep doing the things you love to do because you would have built what it is that you didn't know you were about to build. And that's the difference. You couldn't have told me that I was going to love myself at the end of this process. When I was making all these bad decisions, I was going to kick my behind. I didn't know that I was going to like the person I've become by the end of that. Nobody told me that. I wasn't happy with me back then. Now, I'm trying to give myself the best life. And it's like, I can't do that because I'm too busy paying for old mistakes that I did when I didn't like this guy too much at all. So, I'll tell you what I really need. I really need a shower because I just got through walking down the street and it was a great experience. 2 16-minute walks. I haven't had anything like that in months. It was worth it. That's going to sound insane to you all, but that's exactly how my brain has kept me in the house, man. Looking at my skin at the beginning of this video, I could tell I hadn't had no sunlight, man. You could tell. You could look at me and tell I ain't been outside. You know what I mean? It's just, the last thing I feel is sorry for myself. That's the difference. Just like I was telling my boy T before I got on this camera with you guys. I'm going to take everything I built in this house, everything I've established with myself in this art and this channel and all these different things, and I'm going to take it out of this house wherever I go. Wherever I go, I'm taking all of these things I've established. And that's what it's about. I may not have gotten to see what I wanted to see at the end of this, but the Lord provided a different type of miracle because he turned me into something else that I appreciate. So now, what I'm saying to you guys is, I'm ready to see what the energy that I just put out is about to do. Because I know what I was doing for the last 37 years, messing up with my energy, doing things the wrong way. But for the last 6 months, I've been an exemplary person of God, and I know that that's going to start paying off too. You don't just do a bunch of bad and then get the bad, that's it. Nah, you do a bunch of good, you pour your heart into the Lord, and you can see where even when you're struggling, there he is giving you a blessing. There he is with a smiling face next to you. There he is giving you the strength to do something you don't believe you can do. Like today, like Monday. When I got that paperwork in the mail, I didn't really know what to think. I didn't know what to think other than this probably ain't going to happen the way I think it's going to happen. It's going to work out. I was still in denial about this. Denial all the way up to the point where it said you have 5 days to resubmit, and then from there we're going to rule against you and pull you out of here with the sheriffs. As soon as it said that, it's like, okay, my anxiety is not realer than the truth, and the truth is going to force me into anxiety anyway, so I have to do. So it forced me into those anxious spaces, and as a result, I was able to overcome, or at least put forth the effort necessary to be proud of what it is I've done. Respond. If you're going to take me out of here, understand why you're going to do so. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want people to know why I did this. I want anybody who cares to know why I did this. Because if you know why I did this and you know why it's probably important that you get educated on what it is I was trying to do. That's what I'm here to say. If y'all see that I'm struggling to high hell, know that I didn't do that just because of my mental illness, but because I feel very passionate about what it is that I'm doing. AMC and GME are stocks that have been manipulated repeatedly. Shares have been duplicated and quadrupled and over quadrupled. And anybody who understands what that means understands that that is value, currency, not represented in any works, any trades, any business deals of any kind. Not black market, not white, none of that. This is free money manifested in a place where they're not sharing it. And they're duplicating it infinitely. Now, if you know something like that is taking place, and you know, and you understand exactly what that does and what that means for the rest of the world and its working economy and business economy, you know, then you understand why I did what I did. You understand why I put myself through this. Because this is not something to just poo-poo. This is really serious corruption. Force-fed poverty. The very essence of what's wrong with this world is right there. In plain sight, and people are afraid to do anything about it because the people who've done it obviously have too much money. Clearly. So that's essence of what they're doing. So if money equals power, then the person who has all the money has all the power. But if they've cheated themselves toward that money, the rubber meets the road. How do you hold them accountable? At what point in time do you realize the money can't be the essence of what it is that we're doing if the person who cheated the money now has all the power? They cheated the game, they got all the money, now you're applying the respect as if they earned that money. The value isn't represented, and that's the problem. So that's why I attach myself to this in this way. This is why this is important to me. Because I know where that money is not is where it needs to be. In this neighborhood, in that neighborhood, in Turkey, in Congo, in Chicago. That's where that money needs to go, where people don't have anything. In Somalia, in places like that, man, in Jordan, that's where the money needs to go. In Mexico. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's where the money needs to go. Not in some dude's pocket, in 3 or 4 people's pockets while they continue to manipulate the world the way they see fit. You want my brain to just be okay with that? Not do everything I can while I'm in my healthy 30s to do something about that? Y'all want me to just have some kids, get a family, get going, and then just keep kids going and just birth them into this nonsense? I wanted my ancestors to fight as hard as they did. And the ones who didn't fight, I would have wanted them to fight harder. And the ones who didn't believe, I would want them to shut up and let those who were fighting do the fighting. That's what I want. So that we can reach the freedom that we ultimately have today. There is a new freedom needed. And it's financial freedom. And it ain't found in working your butt off and reaching the American dream. It's found in educating everybody and making sure everybody has a stable foundation from which to invest and educate themselves. And then from there, you don't have the troubles that I ran into with this nonsense, not knowing what to do, because everybody will know what to do because they'll be educated enough to do so. Ain't gonna be no homelessness. Ain't gonna be a rampant crime rate or none of that, because people are gonna know their options. They're not gonna be ignorant. They're gonna understand what it is that they can and cannot do, and they're not gonna fall into the traps I found myself falling into right here. Trying to stand still to do the best I could with the best I understood it to be. Dealing with ignorance, frustration, not knowing how to build, not respecting certain things that would have allowed me to be my best self. Whose fault is that? Mine. But in the environment I was in, while everything was normal around me, this was normal, that was normal, that wasn't normal, that wasn't normal. And because of it, it molded me to see things a certain way. And that is why I make choices and decisions I did, just like you. So who's in control of that environment? How culpable are they for how we're cultivated? Well, if you ask them, not at all. But if you look at how they're credited, plenty. So this is what I was doing here. Struggling with my brain and seeing the world this way. I didn't want to leave the house because I see the world this way. But when I got outside, I enjoyed it. It's just the anticipation of the understanding of what you see in your head. It makes it so that you don't want to do anything instead. I just wish somebody would understand exactly how much I love what I'm doing. And that's what I'm saying. My Laker videos, I love it. My art, it helps. My playlist curation, I love it. These videos, I love it. I believe myself to be a multifaceted person. Entertainer, maybe? I don't know if I want to use the word entertainer, that's why I said person. But a multifaceted person who has entertainment talents. I got a lot of different things that I love to do. I just wish I could do them and live. People make a living off of what it is that I do every day. And I'm struggling. And I'm trying to stand on something that I think is honorable and no one knows it. And I don't want to die at all. I don't. I want to live. I want to keep going forward. I want to fall in love. I want to do all the different things that is available to a human being, especially one who loves God like I do. I just made some mistakes, man. What can I say? No matter how right I was about what I saw in regards to corruption, doing it this way wasn't the way. It wasn't the way. I don't know what else to say, man. I hope things work out for me. I want to be able to keep my apartment fast this weekend. I don't want to see no sheriffs knocking on my doors. But here's the problem. I don't have any income. I don't have any plans paying anybody. I'm hopeful family will pay people. I didn't have a plan for this. I had nothing. All I was doing was trying to be excellent for free. Because it was the right thing to do to me. It's the right thing to do. But the arrogance of me, you don't think other people want to do that, BDF? You don't think people would rather not pay or rather not take people's money? You don't have a choice. This is how you eat. This is how you live. You gotta have a balance between getting enough money and not being greedy. You gotta want money enough to get as much as you need, and then manage yourself so that you don't become greedy. I don't understand that scale. That's why I fall apart. I don't understand that scale. Especially when I know the money's manipulated from the top and people are starving. I don't understand the scale. I aspire to feed everybody I see. I do. Every homeless person I see in this spirit, in this mindset, I just want to give them a meal, bro. That's it. Give them something they can digest. It's cold as hell outside. You got people laying down, and we're cool with this. These are norms that aren't normal. These are norms that aren't normal. Animals have compassion, unless they're hungry or they're terrified or they're angry. But the compassion is going to be there. We walk around as dignified, civil human beings, and we'll walk past a person, another human being that we may actually be related to, for all we know, and won't give a damn if they're in the worst possible circumstance. And the way we justify it is because we're in the worst possible circumstances ourselves in our minds. Everybody going through something, that's their problem, not mine. No. If we work together, we can help one another. This is my problem. I want to do everything by myself. I want to live in the house by myself. I want to stay away from people. I couldn't help people. I didn't want people to help me. I'm going to stay by myself. And then look where it got me. Nowhere. It made me comfortable. Because as a child, I was used to being made fun of, so it made me not want to deal with people at all. I was used to being insecure, used to being all these different anxiety, different stuff, kept me wanting to not be around people. So I saw the fruit in being around people all the same, but you have to break that. You can't go along with that weakness. You can't allow yourself to be an isolated person, because at the end of the day, you need people to help you with the things you don't know how to do. You need people to help you with things you can't get done by yourself. And that's what I didn't allow to happen. I knew that wisdom, but to apply that wisdom, to be afraid enough to make that true in your life, is where I go wrong. Make it true. You can't stay in the house and pretend like everything's gonna fall into place. Even if you have an opportunity at a lottery ticket, you can't assume that lottery ticket's gonna go exactly the way you think it's gonna go just because you believe in God is gonna do what he does for everybody, bro. He gonna let you pray. He gonna hear you out, and he gonna let you apply your faith, and he gonna work it out. But if you think he about to come down out of a cloud to help you, when you making mistakes and doing things the wrong way, and everybody's telling you shouldn't do it that way, everybody's telling you shouldn't do it that way, but you're gonna do it that way anyway. He gonna help you get out of the cursed circumstance you put yourself in by doing things the wrong way. So that's the wisdom, man. I just want to get out of this circumstance so I can take that wisdom with me and be cool. Because a lot of times it takes hard times to learn wisdom. I got the wisdom. Can you take the hard times now? It's like, I got it. I got it, God. I got it. But now I need you to take the hard times. You know, God told me something that bothers me, but I think he meant it. He said I didn't have to worry about money anymore. That didn't mean he was going to give me a bunch of it. That didn't mean he was going to give me the money to take care of my business. No, he just told me I didn't have to worry. That he was going to give me the strength to do everything I needed to do to assure that money was not something I needed to worry about so long as I stayed close to him. I misinterpreted that as him giving me a bunch of money. Hell no. You still got to go get it. You just don't have to worry about it. And that's what he told me. It's a worry is a word that defines my mindset. I worry about how I'm perceived. I'm worried about what I'm going to do next. I'm worried about if God's pleased. I'm worried about leaving the house on regular situations that shouldn't even be that serious. I'm always worried. Worried about my mom when she was alive. When she passed, I found something else to worry about. But now the only thing I'm worried about is continuing to harbor worry and allowing it to cripple me and lead me to denial. That's the other word, denial. I denied that they would do this. They sent me paperwork. I denied they would do that. They came to my house. I denied it. I was in complete denial. My mental health was the cause. But my choices kept me from making decisions to get the help I needed. See, that's what I told my uncle. I was like, my mistake is not getting help, man. My mistake is not what I did while being unhappy or being anxious or any of that. That's what this is. But what I did not do is the same thing I would tell every one of you. If you know you got something wrong with you, get help. And if you're the type of person like me, don't put it off forever, because it only is going to force you to address it eventually. If you don't address it eventually, it will do what sickness does. And it will force you into denial, into worry, and all different types of stuff that you don't want to have nothing at all to do with. So I just wanted to come up here and bump my gums, man. Give some people some of the real energy I got. Like I said, I love myself. I love you. You feel me? All of y'all, man. And that's not something I say lightly. People say, oh, I love you. I love you. No. You got to understand something. This is the only thing that's keeping me going when I feel my worst these days. When people tell you that the internet is not a therapist, I defy that. I defy that with every fiber of my being, because it is exactly what you are. You are carrying me by just being on the other side of that thing as a concept, so that I can talk to somebody when I feel like I got nothing for anyone. You can be a magic somebody that I can talk to, that I can share what it is that I believe I know, or display my ignorance, just the same, I know. But nevertheless, you're there. And because of it, I feel comforted that I can get through my problems. And I promise, every time I get off this phone with y'all, I feel better. Even if it's rough, even if it's as rough as it feels right now, I feel better. Not just because I have an outlet, but because I know that my spirit is talking to somebody that God created, people, humans, that the Lord created and put things in their heart, talent in their lives, paths, that things that are in my head can help navigate them through in some ways. I love that. It gives me purpose. It gives me a certain level of self-respect, self-control, self-awareness to say that I can do something good with my voice. I can do something good for somebody else in the midst of my struggles, my mental illness, all the stuff that I identify. I can be better because somebody's on the other side listening to me and demanding that I be that. That's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. My responsibility to you. Once I started loving myself, I started loving you guys. In the sense that I did not want my voice to show you an example, my image to show you an example of somebody who did the things that I used to do. See, I'm still prone to do those things, but now that I have this voice and this outlet, I know that people are watching me. Maybe even children. Maybe children that aren't even born yet, years down the road, who need to see this particular mind deal with himself in this way. Get through the hard times. Face anxieties. Go into the spaces that require you to be yourself and vulnerable. Maybe they can help themselves not turn into a monster. Maybe they can help themselves through an anxious situation. Maybe they can help themselves through an isolated mindset. So I feel that responsibility to attack these weaknesses, to keep on the ball with this Laker video stuff every day, the consistency example. You gotta see I can do it. So you know you can do it too. Because somebody showed me they can do it, and that's why I'm able to. That's what it's about, man. I felt myself in praying this morning, as I always tell you guys, I was praying this morning in the shower, and the Lord helped me feel so elevated in frequency, elevated in mindset. I feel that way right now. Like I'm aligned with him in every way that he wants me to be. And even though I'm going through tough times, it's like I never turned away from him, you know? So I didn't have to go back and say, Lord, can you help me? He was always here. I'm sitting here telling him, Lord, I'm not happy with how things are going. He's saying, you don't have to have no fear. Brought me my friends when I needed them most. People that I need to comfort me in my life, you know? The people I really need, they're here. They reaching back, they talking back like I never left. So I know I'm blessed. The timing is all fine. my prayers, they all worked. I just got to get through this. And the good thing about getting through this is because I have that faith, I got a better mindset about being ripped away. I got a better mindset about what could take place if things don't work out. And even though I'm not looking forward to those things, the adjustment scares me. Nevertheless, I'm still here. And there's another thing. I'm in my apartment right now. I got to be able to enjoy my apartment right now. Because when they do whatever they do, or it goes whatever way it's going to go, I ain't going to have the space no more. So tonight, I'm going to enjoy myself. Tomorrow night, after I get back from the courtroom, I'm going to enjoy myself. Saturday night, if the sheriffs don't come to my house, I'm going to make good on that day somehow. Because at the end of the day, I know that I did everything I could to fight at this point. And whatever happens after that, I got to be able to keep going with good energy so that good things can happen after that. Or it's going to be more hard times to come. And I'm tired of those. I'm tired of hard times, ladies and gentlemen. I can deal with certain types of hard times, but the poverty hard times, when you have the confidence that you can earn, it doesn't make as much sense to me anymore, man. It just don't. So I just thank everybody again for allowing me to be that person that'll talk to you at this moment, comforted. I'm confident that the Lord allowed me to put my best foot forward, so if things don't work out, I can at least keep my head high and say, yo, I tried. Hey, what can I do? That's what I wanted to be able to say. That's what I wanted to be able to say, man. I don't feel sorry for myself, man. I don't. What I feel is sad. I feel uncomfortable. I feel scared. I feel like my comfort zone that of many years is going to be ripped away from me forever, and there's nothing I can really do about it but what I've already done and what I'm committed to do tomorrow, with help, because I won't be able to do it alone. I'm still helpless at 38 years old. That's what isolation has done to me. And would you believe it? I'm still holding my shares. Would you believe it? BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.